Next, we are back up to our actual songs, and we are going to be talking about Riot. Riot is actually a really old song idea. I had most of the chorus written up for it, as well as a lot of the lines for the verse. I've had that written up for a really long time, but I had to actually go and find a beat that worked with kind of the vibe of the song. Unfortunately, the beat wasn't the best ever. The timing's a little bit weird, as well as some other things kind of gave it its own quirks. But what I did was I essentially transferred the lyrics over, refined them to work with the beat the best I could, and then made an entire song out of it. So Riot is the first like actual old song that we come up with, and it's a relatively decent one. The vocal mixing is pretty good. The lines are relatively decent. At the end, you hear the line, "Wait, I don't pull any bitches." That's pretty funny to me, right? Like, it's not like a crazy innovative line or anything. It's literally just a beat drop for the song to end. But it was a pretty silly line that I decided to incorporate because, you know, I want to show off, not necessarily as Carlos, but more so as myself, that I am a silly person. And even though that's like, ew, what? But like, I am, you know? So it's like I wanted to show off, like, this is kind of like, this is a thing that makes me laugh. But the story behind the song, Carlos wrote it back after a really big important thing that I can't mention yet because that will be revealed later on. But a very important thing with a very important person in his life happens, and that's when he writes Riot. And the song is sort of a reflection of his violence towards the world because of it. Right? Kind of this idea of fuck bitches, get money, kill people, right? That idea that you kind of get from him as a character more so now than you did if you listen to the song Tired, right? Tired's more so about like, I just want to fit in, let me fit in, right? Whereas Riot is, rah, look at me, I'm such a strong individual, rah, you know? So Riot's kind of this mental like bringing down of himself from Carlos, kind of when he first became the worst person instead of the better person we see from the earlier works with songs like Tired and What Did I Come to Do, where he's like, I want to do all this good. Then you have songs like Riot that never got released, but they really showed off this like evil side of him that started to reveal itself after some very pertinent things started to come up. And I like that part of the storytelling that, you know, it's kind of like you don't know when things happened, but you know that these songs were all written and put in here because they do have some sort of story significance. Obviously, that's not why Carlos put them in here, right? If you look at it from the story standpoint of Carlos putting it in here, it's, oh yeah, these are just some good songs, right? But when you look at the standpoint of me putting them in here, these are story significant songs. And although I'm not gonna like just drop the lore and be like, this is what happened before this song and this is why he wrote it, right? I will say that all of the songs in this album are very story significant. They have story reasons to exist. Even if I wrote them a long time ago and refined them and just had to give them a reason, or I wrote the song specifically for the album, they have a story reason to exist, and that is why they are in here. There's no song in here that doesn't have some kind of call that's going to be called back in the future, or even just the idea of knowledge to the viewers, so you know that this was a thing at some point. And Riot is definitely a show of that, despite having never been released, and that was just a me thing because I actually didn't have rights to the beat that I originally wrote it for, so I didn't want to release it. But this was actually going to be my third song before Lightning. So outside of a me thing in story reason, this song was never released until now. Me reasoning, I just couldn't get the licensing for the beat because I was 13, and didn't have money.